I want to talk about the different types of work that happen on teams that are usually skipped over and not talked about, which cost the team in the long run. So we're going to take a baseline here of where we start, and then maybe at the top. There we go. So here we're looking at the amount of time a team spends on different types of work, and this won't be 100%. So a lot of the times when there's planning happening, teams will often dedicate as much of their capacity as possible to planned work. So there's a bit of an issue with this in that if you ask the team, well, is this all you need to do? The answer is no, but they don't have a way to deal with that. So here's what I mean. If you ask them, so you're going to do all this planned work, should you spend any time looking at, let's say, customer feedback? Maybe the answer would be yes. But where's that time going to come from? Well, let's keep going. Should you spend any time reflecting on your process and how things are going and how people are feeling? Maybe, but where's the time going to come from? Should you leave any buffer in case any unplanned work comes out that needs to be addressed quickly? Maybe. How about refactoring? How about doing some peer coaching? How about doing some experimenting? So all these things have some value, and there's no right answer for how much time should be spent, and should time be spent all the time on these activities. But it's a conversation that is typically just entirely skipped. So that's a problem. Because if any of these sort of activities come up throughout the course of work, well, what happens? The teams then need to start tacking on time above 100%. Or they need to go back and say, well, we're not going to do this planned work, which then needs to feed back into another planning cycle. So anything above here leads to stress and burnout. It takes urgency and additional effort to try to fit in new work into this 100% domain. And if they ever have to carve out a piece of work and remove it, well, what do they have to say to their customers? So they're going to lose some reliability and hurt some relationships. So that's why it's important as you begin any sort of cycle, or maybe making it a regular part of your planning cycle with a team, discussing when you look at all these different types of activities, the planned work, the customer feedback, planned, unplanned work, time for reflection, refactoring, peer coaching, or experimenting, what's appropriate? How much of this pie should be sliced up in different ways? Now, this is where a WIP limit really comes in. So you can identify for your planned work, maybe there's some max capacity you want to have ongoing at any one point in time. So here's your planned work. And if, for instance, this fills up to 100% and meets the WIP limit, and you have some other people who have capacity, what are they going to do? Well, because you've set this WIP limit, because you're not going to pull any more planned work, you're basically giving your team the opportunity to redirect their attention to whatever is most important at the time, which you can't know in advance. So it could be in the middle of the week, could be 2 weeks after you've done some sort of planning cycle. Once there's some spare capacity, the team can decide and discuss what should we do next. Hopefully that helps. Thank you very much.